Hola.
Hello, hola, buenos días.
Tal?
Hello, good morning. Hello, everyone. And thank you so much for connecting today to our last panel of this webinar, Detailed Opportunities for Green and Digital Entrepreneurship and European Funding. As you already know, if not, I'm just going fast. This is a webinar in the framework of our Erasmus Plus project, which is called 100 Women Plus. This is this has been a 5 days online event. Today is the last one. We've been analyzing the potential possibilities in the intersection of green initiatives and digital technologies applied to the women's entrepreneurship context. As a conclusion of this 5 days webinar, today we will focus on showcases and good practices, and so that we will continue exploring projects supporting women entrepreneurship and discovering new business initiatives, leadership experience in different fields such as scientific, cultural, social, and not only business field, highlighting so that the great role of women in all areas of society. So let's start. Thank you again to everybody for joining us today. I am passing now the mic to my colleague Esther Embomio. She's conducting these training sessions, and I give you the floor, Esther. Good morning, and thank you, everybody.
Good morning, Carla. Thank you so much. So as you said, we have been seeing during the past webinars how connection is a vital element in the world of entrepreneurship, especially when it comes to the realms of green and digital initiatives. In today's interconnected world, fostering mindful connections between individuals and organizations, also ideas, is crucial for creating a sustainable future and liberating European funding effectively. After these 4 days, as Carla said, of the 100 Women Plus webinar, we firmly believe in the importance to celebrate and make visible examples of good practices within the green and digital market, and relate, of course, to the woman role. We have examples of different disruptive projects. We have been in touch with LIFE program and other initiatives. We also have examples of success in the global and general markets, such as Tesla Motors, Patagonia. So a lot of projects going on that are showing us the importance of promoting sustainability, address the digital new markets, and which is the role of women in all this field. So today, our first panelist is gonna be Anna Alcaine. She's entrepreneurship project manager at EAT Food. She will speak about how training female investors are essential for more balanced entrepreneurial ecosystem. Anna coordinates Supernovas, a female entrepreneurship program with the mission to increase female presence in the entrepreneurship ecosystem, both for entrepreneurs and investors. Just to mention that Supernovas is sponsored by the European Institute of Innovation and Technology and managed jointly by the 3 of its communities. Thank you so much, Anna, for being with us today. We hear you.
Thank you, Esther and Carla. Let me share my presentation. Okay, so thank you for having us. Let's see if I can put it in full screen. Okay. Yeah, I think it's going to take us about 20 minutes, maybe less. So we'll have time for questions. I'm also happy to stop if there are any questions as we go. So to give some color on what Esther was saying, so European EIT is the European Institute of Innovation and Technology. We are funded by the European Union under the umbrella of the Horizon Europe program. But it's also important to know that we have a mandate for sustainability, which means that all our programs are initially funded by the EU, but we need to be sustainable within a certain horizon. So we are here to actually help create healthier entrepreneurial and innovation ecosystems. Then EIT is organized in 9, we'll call them KICs, which are knowledge innovation communities, but to you it would be like verticals, right, or industries. So we have all these 9. We are basically across all sectors where there is technology. Culture and creativity is the newest KIC, was just created this year. So in each of these verticals, we work on a number of initiatives, mainly around entrepreneurship and innovation. We have a lot of entrepreneurship programs. Some of them are for entrepreneurs of any gender, and some of them are specific to female entrepreneurs. For instance, in EIT Food, we have one of our largest programs is IWA, Empowering Women in Agri-Food, which is run in 13 different countries. So Supernovas launches in a bit of a different context. So EIT decides that there are certain topics that are very important. So we don't not only need to work on them at the KIC level, at the vertical level, but we actually need to collaborate with each other. So that is what EIT community is about. It's about putting together different EIT KICs to work on something. So in my case, I work for EIT Food, but I actually, my Supernovas is across all verticals. So it's kind of, well, not an anecdote, but I not only focused on food. So Supernovas is the EIT community program that is focused specifically on female entrepreneurs. As I said, there are already initiatives in many of the KICs focused on female entrepreneurs, but we thought that we needed like an extra effort. So the 3 of us, EIT Food, EIT Manufacturing, and EIT Urban Mobility came together to launch this program. So the objective is double, and then I will describe the activities and you'll understand better. So we want to bring more women into the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And we work a lot on the investor side because it's more difficult for women to raise funding when they are entrepreneurs, and there are many reasons for that. But we think one very important reason is that there are not enough women on the other side of the tables, the side of the investors, the people who are writing the checks. And then the other objective is to offer support to female entrepreneurs. And I say separately female entrepreneurs and female-led startups because we have activities focused on the person and we have activities focused on the companies. So you'll see detail afterwards. And also there is like an overall objective of us, which is to create awareness about this issue, to be in all kind of events and forums. We can have this conversation and start, and raise awareness and also talk about the role of women. And not only what needs to be done or what needs to be improved, which is typically the case, but also acknowledge what is already good news and being done very well. And I will cover a bit of that at the end of the presentation. Okay, so to summarize our activity, so we organize this by audience, and then I will go into the detail of its activity. So for female investors, we have Women to Invest. For female entrepreneurs, we have 2 programs, Rocket Up, which is focused at the startup, and Women Leadership Program, which is actually led by EIC, which is the European Innovation Council. And this is led at the person, at the female entrepreneur. And then we have an activity that is actually focused both on female investors and female entrepreneurs. This is we are building a community of female investors. So this is gonna include training to those female investors, both for business angels, either experienced business angels, new business angels, but also for women working in venture capital, early entry professionals, but also more senior professionals. And then on the combining both, like the female investors and the female entrepreneurs, we organized these investment forums. We had the first one last week on food and health. So we showcase female-led startups, and then we invite investors, and we try to start the conversations and the connections. So let me go activity by activity. So Women to Invest, which I actually manage personally. Here we are trying to have more women with technical education, STEAM education, get into venture capital. So we give them a very thorough training program where they understand what it means to work in venture capital, which I worked in venture capital, and to me is one of the most interesting things you could be doing, because you are close to entrepreneurs, and you are close to where many things are happening. You are driving the trends, and I think it's a really good standpoint. So what we do, we select a group of participants. We are just completing the selection for the 2023 class. So we invite them to participate in the training. Then we manage that training. We help them network and prepare themselves. And then we engage as many funds as possible that are looking into recruiting female of technical background in their teams. Sometimes they are not specifically looking for women. They are looking for interns, and then we say, hey, we have some great candidates regardless of the gender. But also in many cases, funds are already looking into, we are hiring an analyst, we are hiring an intern, and this time we really like to have a woman. So access to fund access to recruit in business schools or management schools is typically easier because they have the connections and the network. STEAM studies are much more fragmented, so it might be more difficult for funds who in the end have small teams to access all the different universities and schools. So that's why we play this role of intermediaries. Rocket Up is focused at female-led startups in our three verticals: food, manufacturing, and urban mobility. And we could call it an acceleration program, but it's focused on something very specific, which is grow international, and particularly to open the next market. So this might be a Spanish or French company that already has some footprint in their home country, and then they want to open their second market. For instance, a Spanish company going to France, or maybe their third market, right? So these participants, they receive training sessions where they are also there is the more if you want to call it the theory or the learning part of the training sessions, but they also get to hear many entrepreneurs who have successfully grown their companies international. So they tell them all that there is to know, and obviously all the learnings and all the things to avoid, which is to me the most important things entrepreneurs can share. And then they get the support of what we call an internationalization squad. So this includes a person that is an expert in their industry or activity, but also another person who is an expert in the market they want to open. So this is quite practically focused, and the idea is that by the end of the program, they have organized their first mission to that country with clients and with very tangible and specific objectives. Women Leadership Program, this one is aimed at entrepreneurs, but at the personal level, so at the female entrepreneur. So this one is actually led by the European Innovation Council, so we are partners with them in this program. So what we do is we select a part of the cohort that comes from alumni of different EIT programs, and then we run part of the training activities, and then we help coordinate the coaching and mentoring for the members that we selected. So participants receive training, so have both online and offline sessions, and on topics that are relevant to entrepreneurship, but also management, like pitching, negotiating, how to create and manage your board, leadership styles, etc. Then they also receive a mentor. So this is a person that is going to help them achieve their personal and career goals. And this is not this person is typically an entrepreneur or a CEO or a senior executive. So it's someone that has made it successfully career-wise and can share part of that learning and actually accompanying them in their experience. They also get a coach, so a coach that would be an expert in their business to help them grow the business, identify opportunities. And then obviously the networking opportunities amongst the cohort, but also they get quite a bit of visibility, and then they join the alumni community, so they stay members of that community for life. And then finally, the Women Investment Network. This is our newest activity, and this is quite a complex one because we are doing a few things in one, as I mentioned. So we are doing training and professional development, both for women in venture capital and for business angels. So we actually, yesterday, we ran our first session for junior women in venture capital. It went really well. We are doing training for business angels, also business angels to be. So there might be someone here who might be interested in starting in investing in startups. So that will launch in September, and then for the more experienced business angels also in September. And then, as I mentioned, investment forum. So we are getting investors access to deal flow. We are getting entrepreneurs access to investors. So we had one on food and health last week. We are having another one on manufacturing and deep tech in mid-September. And then mobility and sustainability in November. Sorry, I got disconnected from my screen. Okay, and then finally, this is a community. So it's not only about the specific activities, but this is also a networking space to share, to learn from each other, etc. So I think I have a few minutes. I just wanted to spend some time on something else that we have done besides the activities, which is we commissioned this study on women-founded scale-ups. So scale-ups meaning startups that have a certain trajectory and growth potential, where at least one of the founders is a woman. So it was published last month, and we work on it with Dilrun, which is an expert in entrepreneurship data. So, well, first starting with the good news, female-led, female-founded scale-ups actually grow or have grown quite quicker than the overall landscape of scale-ups in Europe. So it's nearly 20% faster. Okay, so I think that's really good news. Obviously, the presence by country is very uneven. And then if we were to take out, like the UK takes still a big part of this. So if we were to take out the UK and only look into the EU, the landscape would look quite different. So I think that's there is sort of potential for improvement. Obviously, France and Germany are leading the way, but there are many countries that are still behind. Some countries like the Nordics, particularly Finland and Denmark, and also Austria, are growing quicker than the average. Others, we still need, have a lot of work to do. So this is the level of growth. So if you see Italy, for instance, has also shown like amazing growth, quite quicker than the well, like 3 times quicker than the average. The Nordics are also growing very quickly, but then German-speaking countries, Central Europe and Southern Europe, there is still a lot of work to be done. If we look by sector, so on the left you have the graph of the sectors where there are more a higher percentage of scale-ups founded by at least one women. On the right, you have the sectors that get more venture capital funding. And then if you see there is a disconnect, right? Like if you look at the 4 where women are more present, these are actually at the very bottom of where investment goes. Okay, so particularly wellness, kids, and fashion. Education is a little bit further up. And the other way around, so where the funding is, we don't have such a strong female presence. So maybe food is the space where there is kind of, we are in a mid-level situation in terms of funding and female presence, but we need to invert this. We need to have more women into the sectors that attract funding, but we also need to have more funding into the sectors where there are women. Also something that is probably quite intuitive, and this keeps happening, and we could discuss a lot why this happens, but female-led startups have a quite stronger focus on impact and sectors where there is a social impact beyond the economic impact. 20% of these women-founded scale-ups are actually in deep tech sectors, and we are seeing more and more presence. Obviously, in some sectors there is more than in others, as we see, but I think this is also good news. And then if we think of the unicorns, so these are the really successful companies, the companies that have been valued at 1 billion euros or more. So if we look by number, well, still the UK is very much the leader, but then if we look by percentage, we have good news in places like Finland, when 25% of unicorns have at least one female founder. But then if you see in other countries, like Spain in particular is there at the bottom of the list, Switzerland is even worse, Denmark and Sweden are not doing so well. Well, they tend to be, the flagship in terms of gender equality, but not in this sense. And there are like the Swedish, particularly the Swedish entrepreneurial ecosystem is very, very healthy with lots of investment, many unicorns. Okay, but still we don't have enough women. So we need to have bigger bars, longer bars in these two graphs. And then by sector again, the female-led unicorns are, here we have a high presence of fashion, but we also see sectors like health and enterprise software and energy that you couldn't think are going to be that female-led. So we are having like the few women that we have, like some of them are really, really successful and are making those companies grow. Okay, so that was it on my side. I don't know if that was a bit too much information, so happy to take any questions, comments that you might have.
Thank you so much for helping us understand the key areas and activities of EIT Food and recent milestones, Anna. Very interesting, the analysis of data and statistics of women founders percentage, depending on the areas here in the US. And congrats of the launch of your Raising Your Girls program. I wonder if anyone of the present have any question for her. We are now opening the mic.
Sorry, so there's a question here on the chat. Could your association, well, we're not an association, okay? We are an EU body. Could EIT be interested in discussing for a common proposal for a EU program based on Mediterranean food mentality? Well, we at EIT, so remember I have like these two hats. So I work on Supernova, so I'm on payroll in EIT Food, but I work, let's say, on something that is cross verticals. But in EIT Food, we do work in European projects. We actually had one person in our team who is focused on this. So yes, obviously we need to understand more on the program and the initiative, and we also have quite a lot on our plates. But yeah, just drop me an email and we see who we need to connect you with.
Thank you so much, Lena, for the good question, and thank you, Anna, for reply. Does anyone have any question for Anna? All right. So thank you so much for being with us. Anna will be with us during the whole panel. So if there's any questions by the end of the webinar, I'm sure she will be happy to provide a response.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Our next speaker today is Renata Samal. She's research and data engineer, and she works in media and video processing as well. She's a clear example of young entrepreneur and catching into the data trends. So thank you so much, Sirasta, for being with us today, and we hear you.
Hi everyone, I'm Shreyasta Samal. I'm right now in Germany. I've been here for the past 8 years and started in this domain, I think 7 years ago as a student. And I'm developing simple innovations, sensible innovations for healthcare, and also mainly in the direction of mental health and how the media has an impact on our mental health and what can we do about it, how can we reduce the stress management, and something called as micro expressions, which is very, very useful in today's day and time as we are completely living our lives online and have got used to it. I just have a small request with the panelists. Can I share my screen at this point, or is it?
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Just a minute. Yes, so yeah, so this is the applications that I have partially developed, and it is still under development. The software, and the idea is to basically have a community of engineers, scientists, researchers, technologists, media people whoever is involved in helping humanity and fighting climate crisis in the smallest way possible. And my idea is to develop a software, or it's already under development, and even create a blockchain network, and especially in the direction of brain, spine, heart, neurology care, especially in the old age, because a lot of countries, a lot of people don't qualify for such care, and the Medicare system is very expensive, especially if we are coming from other countries, or a certain disease is not matching in the current insurance system, then you are really left on your own. You really cannot go access or anything. If you're in remote places, it's even worse. There is no access to all these nice 3D printed devices or whatever can come out. So the goal is to first identify these issues using the mental health application called as FACE, and have real-time data. Also create a training course for the future trainers in the healthcare direction, or anyone who wants to do lateral entry. More than that, once this goal is achieved, then the other goal is to even go ahead in advanced technology like 3D printing, so we can build houses in case there is, like, some earthquake or some kind of natural calamity related to water, like tsunami or anything, any natural calamity. We experience a lot of loss of lives and property, and it's not very easy to quickly develop or build, because you need a lot of highly skilled people in this domain. So at least my organization will try to train these people to respond to such emergency situations. So these are the two directions, and the blockchain is in the direction where people who really are not in the system or cannot afford it, the idea is to have something as affordable as $1 a day or €1 a day, so that round up to about 30 euros or $30 or 32 euros as the markets keep on changing. And I would just like to proceed. Mainly the mission is to, as I just stated, I want to make mental health accessible along with healthcare in old age, where it is cost effective and resilient, and want to create it in a holistic way so that we live in happy and very advanced communities. And this is the certain like around $1 million to get started with website, logo, registration, and all the branding. And I'm looking for support from women-based organizations. What my core technologies would be, especially focusing towards printed electronics product. I will have a studio for this, software development for mental health, certain organic and useful products that will support the mental health program, and a neuromuscular lab building at the present for resilient bodies. So first half we'll focus on us as people, and later once we are trained, I will focus on the second phase of my vision. So this is what I have kind of explained, and where I see the need of collaboration. I need a good backbone of flexible electronics, nanotechnology, material sciences, computer sciences as well. And the idea is to work with universities and startups who are working, who have industry as well as academic experience, and have the tool of very talented and smart working individuals in the beginning, and provide them with the chance of internships, because I have benefited from such a network myself, and I want to give back to the society. Yeah. And these are some statistics I will kind of go through. Why mental health is sometimes ignored, because maybe we see that the stress environment is very high. Sometimes we are not adapt to the change, or there can be addiction issues, and this can be generational or genetic or just circumstantial. Sometimes we just don't have control over what we have. So it can be even climate triggered. A lot of the respiratory issues are climate triggered, and they affect our way of thinking and everything. So yeah, this is actually a very big issue, and in future, if not curbed, it will really lead to a lot of issues, different kind of diseases in the masses. So that is the idea, and so far I have developed an application, so where you can really this application software is developed by me. I was at the Max Planck Institute, so I had some guidance where I was doing my internship, and try to develop via face. We can track the if we upload very high resolution and of course bright images, and we can really have markers which will be very helpful for the psychologist or psychiatrist when they're treating patients. And since it is a micro expression tools, it really needs certain clinical setup or clinical questioning, and for that I will need a good network of psychologists out there and even doctors. And in fact, this is like a training module to train the people, where the videos can be uploaded. They can track the stress markers, or for example even depression tendencies and so on and so forth, where when psychologists are asking questions, they can mark it frame by frame, and it will automatically save every frame what the psychologists are seeing, and or the mental health experts are seeing, and what is really happening to the person. It's a very non-invasive method. You can see there are no electrodes or anything attached as in the olden times, completely based on computer vision and AI systems that have been used in the background. Also, the same window can be used for, in the left hand side you could see that there is a thermal image, and you can see the nerves over here. And these nerves are like, if you have a good AI predictor that has to still be made, you can actually find out 6 to 7 months before if you're having any neural issues, or if your hand or anything is not working that well, or maybe there is a chance that you get a paralytic attack, and you can actually take some kind of good massages or different kind of prescriptions by your doctor if they are able to detect it earlier. So it's like a AI system that can pre-predict at least 6 to 7 months before. Right now this is the level at which it is, and I really want to make it better and faster, and yeah, for that I need resources. So yeah, this is the explanation, and this is like the internal working of it, how it's going frame by frame, what it is assessing, and how it is storing. And the idea is also to follow the data protection laws of EU. Once the experiment is done, of course everything will be anonymous, and it will only be like the security of the person, and everything will be taken care of. Right now it is just a demo to show you what is happening and what is being measured. And the algorithm is called AMD, Automatic Micro Expression Detection, and it is currently under review for the patent I'm filing for. So it's a small demo of surprise, where this lady is watching a video and is asked to actually really curb her emotions. So as you can see, the video is starting, and for a very small fraction of a second, this is something our eyes cannot see, and she is actually so shocked that she cannot believe it, and she really has to blink her eye. So the variation is very like, this is the left eyebrow and right eyebrow, and this is where EAR is actually eye aspect ratio. And it's a very small peak because micro expressions last very less than a second, so very hard to capture and make a data analytics out of it, but still. And a normal expression or a normal eye drop actually goes so big, so I won't bore you with the details, I'll just go ahead. But this is the technology that can detect, let's say, not only surprise, but even sadness, happiness, or any kind of uncertainty, or any kind of paralytic attack, a certain part of the face is not working. So such is the starting of what I'm doing, and it needs a lot of media technology and a lot of it's a good mix between psychoanalytics, media, and wellness. So yeah, thank you so much for your time, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Yeah.
We actually have received a lot of questions regarding to your interesting app, Siriasta. Thank you so much for presenting us this very interesting project. This is a clear example on how we can apply technologies and data intelligence to life science and mental health field. We wish you success, as we find especially interesting this type of projects driven by a high sense of responsibility and commitment with the community needs. I'm going to start with my question, and then we are going to continue with the questions drop on the chat. I'd like to know, could you perhaps expand on your professional experience and what type of gender barriers you had to overcome in this so specific field?
Especially when pursuing especially electrical engineering, computer science, and going towards robotics, it was always like a lot of colleagues or who are boys and men, they never understand the emotional importance. I especially see that a lot of girls and boys are on dating sites, and they really don't know if the person behind you is a psychopath or a sociopath. And a lot of times such actually I have in as growing up, I faced a lot of these issues where I wouldn't online have the trust, and I heard a lot of bad things, like girls having being perceived as dumb, girls being perceived that they cannot do IT, they cannot do computer science, even though we have the highest grades or everything better. It's just that the general acceptance of you being taken seriously is not there. They just see you as someone who has makeup or someone who just know how to play the keyboard, and they are shocked that you can do it, and when you prove them wrong. This is in fact, I even faced it here in Germany as well, not only in India, but I did get the small chances that I would not get back in my country. Like, I did get the chance to be in a scientific room, understand what exactly science is, and it was big opportunity for me because I was literally one of the only girls in the room, and maximal I had, like in a group of 10, there were only 2 girls. And that number unfortunately keeps on decreasing as you're growing higher, because a lot of companies don't want to hire you, especially like now that I'm 30. So they think that, okay, there will be family, there will be responsibilities, especially in hiring, even though you're equally good or maybe better. Or maybe I also I had the experience that I'm being hired at a lower salary, and usually it happens that even if I'm discussing my skills with my colleagues or something, they don't value the skills very highly. They don't understand. They just think that, oh, she's just clicking a button, or it's just a download button. They don't understand that it takes like almost a year or something to make it clickable. So this is like the biggest barrier. Not even getting like higher studies. Always you are told, oh, this is lacking, that is lacking, this is still not done. It's something that people like me or anyone at my age can just learn it in 5 to 6 weeks, but you're not being able to given the time. And this is something I constantly face even now. So I'm just hoping that, or somewhere I don't fall in the criteria. Unfortunately, it's something that when I discuss with my mentors, it's something that they have faced. And that's why whenever I get the smallest chance, I am trying to present myself. And I hope I could answer, Esther. Yeah.
Totally. Thank you so much for your comments, and you're for sure a great example about it. Dr. Estela Nemuseso, she's asking, how can women founders globally who have innovative ideas like yours get support? They mentioned that they have been working on an aging in place innovation for dementia and ARD.
So aging related dementia is something, it's very, very hard to capture, because what happens is, I will tell you what happens with both men and women. So as you cross age 40, 45 or 50, there is this phenomena that happens, ageism. and it affects both the parties. And somewhere the dementia, it can be captured online through micro expression detection. That's where this tool is very, very important, and that's where fitness, health, and programs, like what all the doctors are doing at the moment, spreading the awareness. I really commend them. And programs like this really need to come out, because a lot of people just brush off dementia. They're like, oh, my memory is good, and this and that. It has nothing to do with memory, number one. Dementia is also dementia of the heart. A lot of cardiovascular diseases is actually dementia of the heart. We only associate dementia with brain. No, there is dementia of the muscle, and there is dementia of the heart. So that's why you might have seen I have mentioned a lot of neuromuscular and even a studio, because I want to create like a studio where thermal images are taken, and we with the help of all the good fitness instructors out there, create a system, a diet plan that will really help reducing the effects of aging. Of course, you can change the genes and all, but those are very costly, and a lot of this science will take a lot of time and will take a lot of validation. Versus we have good doctors, good fitness trainers, good mental health advocates. Combining the power of all these three and having the back end of a good software and AI, we can reduce these issues. And once people are healed, the concept of neuroplasticity, I know Dr. Stella, she really comments, she propagates the idea of neuroplasticity and neuroscience. At the core of it is early identification. The earlier, the faster we know this, the better we can bring a program for the society that actually works, and making people independent and confident, and not having the fear of aging, not going into the old age thinking, oh, I'm forgetting. We all forget things. We have to make the to-do list, because our lists keeps on increasing and sometimes it's unmanageable. So I really hope that this gets funding and attention. Yes.
Yeah, we understand the importance of automation is one of the priorities of the European Union, but also big companies, as an example, Illumina in the United States, they are putting so much effort and investment into creating more process led by automation. And we understand that data intelligence in this sense is a key area to develop. And we are so glad to see that there's women like you adding value to this area.
Thank you so much, Esther. Yeah. And I hope to inspire more and get more support, and, create a beautiful network of good give and take. And yes.
Lena is also asking you about if you think will be possible to apply this technology in 3D print autos like Lamborghini.
Yes, like the 3D print, the phase 2 of it is basically identifying the structures. Right now I'm at a very 2D based, but the next step is 3D, and we can create not only for Lamborghini, but personalized caskets, or, personalized movement, flexible printed electronics, even smart textiles out of it, materials that support it. And, so it will be very... very, very interesting for manufacturing, textile, and media. So yeah.
And she's also asking how much could cost this invest.
I think around I am looking for something between 15 to 20 million euros at this point in time, because it is the second phase, and the first phase is between 1 to 5. So yeah, millions. Yes.
Thank you so much for asking so many questions to provide with a response. We are glad to have you here today. We are going to continue with our next speaker, but Sinasta is going to be here. So if you guys have any more questions, you can just contact her directly. On the chat is her LinkedIn.
Thank you so much, Esther. Thank you, everybody. Yeah.
So we are going to welcome now Corina Pateli-Bell. She's founder and president of Fair Life Lung Cancer Care. so in the same field of life sciences. She's gonna add her comments and present us with her own project. Thank you so much for being with us, Corina.
Hello. Hello, I'm Corina Pazzelli Bell, and let me share my screen. Okay, so can you see my presentation?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me to be, to present Fair Life and how lung cancer is associated with the environment. Lung cancer, I don't know if you're aware of, but is one of the most common and serious type of cancer in both men and women. The disease impacts 182,000 people, family and social environment every year in Greece, and is usually diagnosed at a late stage due to the lack of symptoms and the delay in implementation early screening programs. Unfortunately, lung cancer is the least supported cancer in terms of policy measure, medical research, and psychological support towards patients, caregivers, and families. Fair Life was founded in November of 2020, a few months after the loss of my husband, Simon Bell, to lung cancer. And Fair Life mission is to holistically support people impacted by the disease, aiming to improve their quality of life throughout their journey from diagnosis to treatment. We are a group of people with a common vision to beat lung cancer by raising public awareness regarding early detection and by supporting all efforts to close the gap and inequalities that unfortunately exist in the journey of people with lung cancer. At Fair Life, as you see on the screen, we work to one of our main priorities is to raise public awareness about prevention and early diagnosis, and also talk about the value of molecular testing. We work for the rights and to be informed about lung cancer. We're trying to end up the lung cancer stigma, which is a very big burden for lung cancer. We're promoting equal access to diagnostic methods and clinical trials. And we provide psychological support of people impacted by lung cancer. And I was listening the interesting presentation of the previous presenter. So how lung cancer is associated with the environment. Lung cancer is not related only with smoking habit. Among the main risk factors for lung cancer is air pollution. Air pollution has a very important impact on lungs health. Moreover, the environment has a great impact on people living with the disease, and this is something that we have to take in our consideration. It is also well known that higher level of air pollution can lead to increased symptoms, worse lung function, and more hospitalization in patients with airway diseases. Recently, there is a new mechanism has been identified through which very small pollutant particles in the air may trigger lung cancer in people who have never smoked, paving the way to new prevention approaches and development of therapies according to latest breaking data reported at the ESMO Congress in 2020. And has been proven clearly that there is a link between tiny particulates in polluted air and lung cancer cases. Innovative research is the key against the disease. It is therefore very important to mention the discovery of molecule, which helps prevent cells in the lungs from becoming cancerous and could accelerate the development of new cancer medicine. Scientists also discovered that people regularly exposed to higher level of air pollution were at high risk and increased risk to have an EGFR lung cancer mutation and also other cancers. As the scientists explained, it is possible for this mutation to exist in healthy cells, and in the case also of non-smoking lung cancer. According to the World Health Organization, 99% of the world population breathe polluted air, and about 9 billion people, unfortunately, are dying every year due to air pollution. So how we try to help? I mean, because we care for the environment, and if we have a less polluted environment, then, and if the people are aware of prevention and early diagnosis, then they will be diagnosed quite early and capture the disease at an early stage. Fairlife is the only organization in Greece exclusively dedicated to lung cancer, and we are actively, as mentioned, we support prevention, screening, and the concept of well-being. We know that there is a healing power in the nature, and nature is perfect and provides us with everything we could possibly need. Activities linked with lung cancer health and exercise always are aligned with our values. I'm going to mention a few initiatives that we have taken over the years that are related with lung cancer prevention and healthy lifestyles, exercise, and contact with the nature. In August of 2020, Fairlife supported mountaineer expedition in Elbrus, conveying the message of patient empowerment and mental health. In November 2021, we introduced a new institution, Asclepia Andrasi, the cultural heritage of health, to promote prevention for lung cancer. More than 1,000 people were gathered, and we had a really brilliant event in Trikala, which is considered one of the most clean cities. And actually, the mayor of Trikala has become in our new government the Minister of Digital Governance, which is a very important fact. In October of 2021 until March 2022, Fairlife organized the first Panhellenic student and youth creative writing poster and slogan competition entitled The First Tobago Vibe Free Generation, and that we had the participation with more than 4,000 young students, and this competition was approved by the Ministry of Education. In May 2022, we created the second anti-smoking campaign that was actually awarded with the first patient awards in Greece. The theme was inhale, exhale, or breathe. That was the main message from all the kids that participate, was selected actually the best message. And it was an event that took place with all the schools around Greece for a generation without smoking, vaping, and lung cancer. Another activity was done to send the message about clean environment without smoking and vaping. We joined forces with municipalities in Greece for cleaning cleaning beaches, and talk to the young generation about an environment without tobacco. So it is clear that health environment equals healthy lungs, and that's what we're striving for at Fairlife. And we're always considering how to align with sustainable development goals. And when we work sustainably, the world works better and for people and the planet. And this is our main goal. Adopting environmental, social, and governance ESG principles means that we should focus on core essential. It means that we must be able to show how we are caring for our communities, our workforce, and the planet while we carry our mission. So our breath is worth every fight. So on the social aspect, we will continue to advocate for patient equal opportunities to fight lung cancer and a fair life for everyone impacted by lung cancer. For every caregiver, for every family member, we need to have a fair life. We work with institutions and organizations with sustainable values, and this is very important, so as to translate green mindset into green action. We pressure for diversity, we pressure for the social net that protects human beings. Webinars and digital clean tools are used to activate eco-conscience both on an individual and a collective level. So what about also the theme of this interesting webinar, women and always this word gives me a difficulty, entrepreneurship. As and I'm sorry about that. As a president of Fairlife and a woman, where we always believe that multi-participation in networking dimension is fruitful collaboration. We are, as an organization, we're a member in more than 20 national and international organizations and scientific companies, and we work together to limit the lung cancer impact in our country. As women, we tend to show a strong innovation, risk-taking, and empathy skills. And as patient advocates, we consider empathy, dedication, and initiative-taking to be crucial in order to support people with lung cancer and fill the existing gaps that there are in so many levels, not only in Greece, but in Europe and worldwide, as lung cancer is the most common and the #1 killer among all cancers. In Fairlife, we believe in that shared values, inclusive social acceptance, multifaceted interaction, green culture, and knowledge flows should be considered and included in the green synergy against serious diseases and for the benefit of our communities. Recently, we attended a very interesting forum, the 13 Capital Link Sustainability, and the quote of Mr. John Koudounis, who is actually the Calamos CEO of Calamos Investment, that is associated with Jonathan Tokubos. And also he's also the CEO of the Hellenic Initiative. He mentioned that health aspect and ESG is a major aspect, and we don't invest in companies emitted pollution. We invest in people doing the right way. World matters and things matter. And as we all know, based on the European Corporate Sustainability Reporting directives from 2022 onwards, gradually all large and and medium organization, they will be obliged and required to submit annual sustainability reports based on specific ECG indicators. And I would like now to pass to a video that is part of our international campaign, about our international campaign, Ask the Right Question, that is related with stigma and lung cancer, which is associated with a habit of smoking. Unfortunately, many people consider that smoking is the only way to have cancer, but probably people do not know that there is a percentage of 10 to 25% of people that never smoked, and another 35% that had quit smoking long ago, catching lung cancer. So let me share with you the video, and I will be available for your questions.
Hi, I'm Eric Bell. I'm 15 years old. I'm in the year 9 of high school, and my life changed from quite early when in August of 2020,
Dear Corina, I think you need to unmute your computer.
my birth was the catalyst of his halt smoking. So when I was born, he stopped smoking, which you could say was my gift to the family when I was born. I remember that when my father got sick, I was quite sad, and I was also quite angry. I remember being quite angry towards my father smoking. Angry because I thought at the time I believed that smoking was the only reason for cancer, and that was wrong because I was wrong. As a matter of fact, now that I'm a bit older and quite a bit wiser, I've realized that it's not the only reason, it's not the only cause of lung cancer. And because of this, I feel as if I've cheated my father. I feel as if I feel like I'm at fault making him feel the way that he probably felt at the time. And this has caused me to believe that the stigma, cancer, does not, or at least it should not in any way be used to make someone feel the way that I made my father feel. The stigma is wrong. It should just be picked up, crumpled, and thrown in the trash, and then maybe burn the trash. But, oh well. My father did not know about early screening, something that might have even given him a chance to live. And that is... Hi, I'm Eric. Reason for cancer, and that was wrong because that is quite unfortunate, because every person should have the right early screening. Every person should know about what they have, if they have, and when. Every person should have the right to be able to tackle such a harsh disease in any way, shape, or form. Every person should have that right, even though many don't. You see, my father, he had the right to know about early screening. He just didn't have the knowledge. He had the right to get better, but he didn't get the chance, and he had the right to live, but it was too late, wasn't it? Yes, ma'am.
Πάλι να μου αφήνει ποτέ. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Corina, for this video and for presenting us Third Life Lung Cancer Care as its founder and president. Again, this is a great example of effective approach to current society needs in terms of health, joining efforts to democratize processes in regards to data collection to improve patients' lives. Also, thank you for highlighting the importance of mitigating air pollution and promoting clean environments to improve human health situation as one of the key risks impacting lung cancer together with smoking. I'm not sure if anybody have any questions to President Corina. This is a great moment to drop it on the chat, or if you guys want to unmute yourselves. Yeah, we have a question from Lena. Yeah, she's asking if air pollution can also cause lung cancer and why it's so important the responsible awareness to community.
Yeah, according to the latest information that was presented in ESMO, yes, unfortunately, air pollution could cause lung cancer. And that's why we see also younger generation, as also mentioned, there's about 25% of people with lung cancer that have never smoked. So we cannot accuse smoking in everything, and air pollution is a very important factor that as a community and as individuals, we have to look after the planet and the environment. So that's why we're here as well to talk about it.
Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you.
would also like to know which are the key areas or key skills professionals and seekers of solutions for cancer are more interesting, which are the higher demands for skills.
So I didn't catch your question. Are you talking about what can cause lung cancer, or are we talking about how we can prevent lung cancer?
No, I was wondering which is the main skills or areas within the lung cancer research and care are in higher demand.
I would consider from our side is empathy. I mean, one skill that and sharing and working as a team. Nothing can be done from our side if we don't work with other associations, with doctors, with other patient advocates, also in research, but also in the daily routine and our daily activities with the patient and caregivers, because apart from the psychological support, which is very important, and we're always looking for funding to support these people, we need to work with them on a daily basis on things that they need, like where to find the doctor, how can I get my PET scan, what is important to do. And education above all is very, very important, because if you are educated before, we don't want, people need to be educated what they need to do when they are informed that they have lung cancer, and following the right step from the beginning to the end is very important. Unfortunately, lung cancer is caught at a very late stage, and there is no education about the symptoms. So people have a small cough and they consider that is nothing, and it takes such a long time until they finally diagnosed, because the earlier they diagnose, the more therapeutical opportunities are available, and that's the key. So prevention is the number one, to have the knowledge, and then education how we can cope with lung cancer, because lung cancer might be invisible, but it's not unbeatable. We can beat lung cancer. We have the tools. We have the right treatments, as long as you catch it early.
And again, the importance and power of automation of processes. That way we can just create methods of response quicker and save more lives.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Corina.
Thank you very much for being with you today. Thank you for the invitation.
Sorry, just a final question. Sorry, there's some.
Yeah, I didn't. You were there with your hand up. Go ahead, Carla, please.
Okay, so Corina, thank you so much for staying with us, for sure. I think this is a really interesting example of how to bring together different social actors to pursue the same objectives or the same interests. You have talked about young people getting involved, or even about town council. My question is, how did you find to get all these people involved? What are the keys?
Okay, the passion. I mean, there wasn't something like that in Greece for lung cancer. So we managed to gather people that they were willing to support, because we work with more than 100 volunteers from different, let's say, communities. So the need was the important thing, and then how we can change things. I mean, it is clear that through our efforts we can change things, and working together with so many people, we can make the change. So we have the knowledge, we have the passion, we have the capacity. I'm happen to be a person that deals with communication, working in multinational companies for many years. So I was unfortunate losing my husband, but fortunate having so many people around us to make our dream come true. And having also the right support from the investors and the sponsors is always important, because whatever we do needs the fuel to run. Thank you for the question.
Just the final, regarding the financial support, have you even tried to apply for European funds?
Not yet. We wanted to become where we stand now, being recognized, and currently we have support from institution. We have lung cancer Vision Alliance, and we have support from 13 pharmaceutical companies and individual donors. We believe now is the right time, with the right cooperation, to request funding from the European Union. However, you need to have something established, recognized, and then to have also the plan for your sustainability. You have to do step by step. So right now is the right time. And thank you for inviting us to be with you today. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
So our next guest and speaker today is Federica Sipo, Project Manager Assistant at European Regional Framework for Cooperation. Federica, could you please introduce yourself and maybe expand a little bit on the key activities, milestones of the European Regional Framework for Cooperation, please?
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Federica. Before even introducing myself, I wanted to say thanks to Corina, because I got very truly touched by her video. I had recently a case of lung cancer in my family. So we know what does it mean to actually go through all the different phases of the disease. So I really appreciate and recognize the value of Fair Life Initiative. My name is Federica. I'm 23 and I'm the founder of Ephemeron. Let me just share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we see it.
Perfect. Okay, so before talking about my project idea, I would like to, first of all, thank the Innova Foundation, Cabildo de Fuerteventura, Fundadoras, Women for Tech, and everyone that facilitated this amazing webinar, and for giving me the chance also to share my experience with such an international network of visionary women entrepreneurs. Yeah, right now I would like to spend a few words on a program called Erasmus for Young Entrepreneurs that allowed me today to be here in Greece, working on my project while gaining international working experience at ERFC, European Regional Framework for Cooperation. This program, I believe, is a great opportunity for youngsters that are about to initiate their entrepreneurial path. Because they can benefit from the mentorship of a more experienced entrepreneur that maybe knows which mistakes to avoid when you're about to start your own business, or which are the obstacles that you may find on the road and how to overcome these obstacles. In addition, the participants to this program receive a financial contribution that allows them to survive while working on their project. So it's a great opportunity, and for whoever is interested, I just invite you to visit the website. It's a very intuitive website. The procedure is very easy, it just takes few steps, and you will receive the support of your local focus point during the whole procedure. You just have to prepare a basic business plan for your entrepreneurial idea, get the approval from this local focus point, and get access to the platform where you can start outsourcing for host entrepreneurs that are available for hosting you. Now, okay, as I mentioned at the beginning of my presentation, I am the founder of Ephemeron. Ephemeron was born in February 2022 as a personal travel blog. I spent the whole summer 2021 doing island hopping in Greece. And this experience, I felt so inspired and so recharged after this trip. And I actually decided to start my own blog, designed to be an inspirational platform for people that needs the pulse to step out of their comfort zone and take action for a change. So at Ephemeron, we believe that if you want to see the change, be the change that you want to see in the world. Since the very beginning, we identified traveling as the most efficient way to actually inspire people to take initiative for their change. Actually, traveling is what we can do best. So our idea is to implement our experience and our knowledge in the promotion of a new travel model, engaging a community of passionate travelers in our green revolution. The journey to Ithaca is the main concept of Ephemeron. We got inspired by the Greek poet Kavafis, who writes,
Federica, I apologize, but the different slides are not going through.
Okay. No, actually, I just need to keep these slides and then I will change it in a while.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So as I was mentioning, the Greek poet Kavafis writes, keep Ithaca always in your mind. Arriving there is what you're destined for, but don't hurry the journey at all. Better if it lasts for years. Wise as you will have become, so full of experience, you'll have understood by then what this Ithaca means. So basically, Ithaca stands for your definition of happiness. And during the journey that will take you to reach your Ithaca, we will make sure to you choose the most sustainable path. So Today, Ephemeron is becoming something much more articulated than a simple travel blog. Our goal is to shape a sustainable ecosystem of green SMEs, green NGOs, and green travelers that will prove the foundation of this new travel model inspired by the principle of environmental and social sustainability. You can think about this model as a triple helix model, which has three main components, as I just mentioned: green SMEs, green travelers, and green NGOs. And each one of them will contribute to and benefit from our network in mutual support of each other green pathway. So the idea is basically to create a platform to connect like-minded people, spread awareness about what is sustainable tourism, and advocate for a change in the tourism industry. But how we are gonna do it? Joining our community, travelers will have access to a package of informative content, becoming aware of their impact while traveling, and getting inspired to make responsible choices. At the same time, they will be provided with practical solutions and a variety of options to choose among our certified green businesses to start planning their trip, book their accommodation, and start planning their activities, of course, minimizing the environmental footprint of their trip. So since at Ephemeron we embrace a strict policy for transparency, all the SMEs that apply for our membership will have to meet a list of requirements carried out in compliance with international standards of environmental sustainability and measurable environmental data. Ephemeron will provide SMEs with a tailor-made evaluation of the cost saving and the greater efficiency that they can gain by adopting our suggested solutions. Also, when applying to our membership, SMEs will be provided with a variety of tools to actually start their green transition, and will understand the great advantage of being part of our network. Indeed, through our platform, SMEs will access our sustainability consultancy services and get a first evaluation of their environmental impact assessment, and identify maybe the pain points that needs to be improved in their business model from a sustainable perspective. In addition, SMEs will be informed about funding opportunities and will be assisted when applying to thematic funds. Joining our network will allow them to explore opportunities of collaboration with some partner companies, for example, for the implementation of a regional waste management system. So using organic waste for the production of natural fertilizer, or maybe clean energy through the process of biomass gasification. Lastly, once their green status is actually approved by the Ephemeron badge, SMEs will get prioritized access on the booking platform, where to showcase their services and activities with our targeted community of green travelers. And they will benefit from increased reservations that, by the way, are commission-free, differently from the other most known booking platform. As I explained at the beginning, the third pillar of our model are the NGOs. The idea is to facilitate the consolidation of strategic partnerships between NGOs and green SMEs for the promotion of volunteerism experiences and youth exchanges. As you already know, a lot of NGOs are actively engaged in the implementation of this kind of projects that are focused on different topics, including environmental related issues, and this is part of their own mission. So joining our platform, NGOs will be facilitated in their call for participants, and they will find green businesses available for collaborating on the implementation of these projects. This kind of action is actually designed to address the high seasonality of the tourist stream in locations like Greece, and provide a solution to seasonally adjust the demand through the promotion of voluntourism experiences. Nowadays, Ephemeron team counts 3 to 4 people actively engaged in the project. We are at the very early stages of our roadmap. We are still working on the website. We're about to establish some study cases, but we are very enthusiastic about our idea and eager for collabs. So for whoever is feeling connected with the project and would like to know more about it, I'm sharing here on the screen my LinkedIn profile and my email address, fd.shipa@gmail.com. So that's it for now. Thank you very much for your time, and again for giving me the opportunity to share my experience, and I wish everyone a great prosecution of the workshop.
Thank you so much, Federica, for your great presentation and for showing us the different aspects of the European Regional Framework for Cooperation and also your own project. It's been a pleasure to hear you. Our next speaker is Rania Lapu, a global educator promoting STEAM careers and also ECT teacher trainer.
Hello, can you hear me? Greetings from Greece.
We hear you, and thank you so much, Rania, for last minute joining us, and we are pleased to hear you.
Okay, warm greetings. It's a great pleasure and honor to be invited today in this great initiative, and I would like to warmly thank Lena Kiropoulos for her kind invitation. As you said, I'm a global educator, STEM instructor, ICT teacher trainer, neuroeducation researcher, and author of Scientific Book for Kids. I'm the CEO at the Greek Astronomy Space Company, Annex of Salamis, and I'm also working at the Greek Ministry of Education, at the Directorate of Educational Technology and Innovation, where I'm writing STEM projects for Greek schools. Unfortunately, I have a technical issue. I can't share my slides, but I can tell you a bit what I'm doing. I was selected among the best teachers in the world with the Global Teacher Prize and Global Teacher Award, and also I was selected recently among the top 10 women entrepreneurs featured in Fortune and among the 100 most successful women in business featured in Amazon Book. So I think that this topic has great value because it opens up the subject to otherwise unexplored topics, such as the significance of self-confidence in women entrepreneurship, the risk-taking, the role of women in entrepreneurial culture, and of course the question of how and when to start teaching business. And what is more, access to finance means much more for women than obtaining money. It is important to access a network, to build social capital, to get together, to obtain support for advisory groups, and receive, of course, education and training on available resources. And of course, nowadays, women have proven that they can become big leaders in business because they can leverage their natural intuition, their social communication skills, their innovative thinking, in order to create a lot of win-win situations in the professional groups. And of course, they encourage participation, they facilitate inclusion, they share power information, and in this way, they can enhance the self-esteem of others and inspire enthusiasm about the work. So there are those who can bring a unique transformational ideas to the fore. So what I'm doing, currently, I'm CEO of the Greek Astronomy Space Company. It's a Greek organization founded in 2011 that promotes broad interest in astronomy and disseminates knowledge in astronomy and astrophysics to the general public through observatory and educational activities. It also, we try to enhance and facilitate interactions among members having interest in astronomy. We organize annual courses of astronomy popularization. We promote the annual competition of the astronomy space company in Greece, and also we promote the national competitions, and we prepare students for these competitions. I want to say also that we are among the first astronomical associations who introduced in Greece STEM in astronomy after my personal initiative and perseverance. So we organize any lectures, STEM workshops, Astro-Nights. We collaborate towards the popularization of complex concepts of astronomy, not only for the layperson, but especially for the privileged children and adults and the privileged girls. So social entrepreneurship and inclusive entrepreneurship is usually the model that we try to adopt. We also try to help refugee children, especially girls said before, children with special education needs, and also children at the ecological hospital, who really are thrilled when they get involved in STEM hands-on activities. Especially since the outbreak of the pandemic, we have been organizing online lectures and STEM workshops, not only in Greece, but also in Kenya, in Malawi, and other countries, to help underprivileged children. So, as I said before, we have the social model, but this has started to become digital after the COVID pandemic, which was actually a great resetter, as I always say in my presentations, because it has unleashed the power of many, many opportunities, especially for women. So why it is important what we're doing here? Because astronomy, unfortunately, is a discipline which is unfairly excluded from the Greek curriculum and from the curriculum of many countries all around the world. Today, few teachers have had high school or college astronomy courses or degrees, and probably due to this lack of training, science teachers at all grade levels lack confidence in teaching the topics, especially in primary education. Primary school teachers are very, very afraid. They have less confidence when they have to teach science in primary school, especially STEM. So this is unfairly excluded, said before, because children and adults are usually are fascinated by astronomy, because astronomy can introduce them in an excellent way into other areas of scientific knowledge too. And this, I think, this should start from an early age. So we try to cover this gap here in Greece. We use space teams to increase students' interest in science, to enhance their scientific literacy, to improve their skills in STEM, and the training programs, of course, include online and in-person lectures and workshops about presentations of astronomical and physics topics in the classroom, examination of multimedia, curricular materials through softwares or text and animations, hands-on always classroom experiments. And in this way, students have the chance to experiment with new learning inquiry-based activities using simple everyday materials that they can find easily. So we try to use innovative methods for the development of new educational scenarios and lesson plans that could make teaching and especially the learning process of astronomy more engaging and more effective. So in this way, girls especially become more open towards science and society, and the role of the teacher, of course, is starting to upgrade. And at the same time, we collaborate with the aerospace companies in implementing advanced space school programs, like how to conduct experiments in space with international organizations like ESA, European Space Agency, and we also support competitions like CANSAT competition, where participants are tasked with designing and building an educational satellite in the format and size of a soda can that carries out the space mission that students have envisioned. So at the same time, we support community-based activities. So community-based learning is something, a pedagogical approach in which local communities participate actually as partners in learning. And this has an essential value in educating science, technology, and mathematics, because it supports the design implementation of solutions and broader societal outcomes arise. This is another thing, we try to invite local professionals to problem solve with our students. So when we talk about STEM, is always about problem solving. And a recent initiative that we have taken as in our company is how to help women and girls in STEM. Women remain, unfortunately, underrepresented in STEM fields. They earn less than men in STEM jobs. However, recently we tried to launch the setup of 4 coding clubs for girls in the outskirts of Athens, in suburbs and remote areas of Athens here in Greece. These after-school clubs are addressed to high school-aged girls who are coming from a low socioeconomic background and emphasize, of course, digital competence as a tool for success, power, and empowerment in society, and focus on collaboration, community building, and culturally appropriate learning activities. And of course, these clubs aim to help young girls to learn beginner computer programming, logic, the Python language, for instance, and many other important digital skills. Of course, our workshops are provided by female role models from within the communities. It is very, very important. And we try to promote public awareness, of course, to parents about how we can encourage daughters as much as sons in math and science. There are still gender stereotypes. There's still the male-dominated culture. There's still the lack of female role models when it comes to science. After this launching, girls and the family showed a great enthusiasm immediately when announced the project. And of course, obviously, through this initiative, we try to offer young girls opportunities to master essential computer science concepts and to help them learn about different potential pathways for technology careers. Here in the Greek Ministry of Education, I'm the Dutch teacher, and when I the first time in 2017 was appointed as a Dutch teacher in the Greek Ministry, my vision was to launch STEM in Greek schools and inside the ministry. We're talking about a period where nobody knew what was STEM. So I had to face many challenges and many administrative obstacles because ministers didn't know what is STEM. So I had to write many reports to convince them about the value. 1 year, my circulars and my proposals were in the desk. So finally, after 1 year, I managed to launch STEM workshops inside the ministry, where the primary and secondary school units are coming inside the ministry and they get STEM training. And also, I launched another circular where I invite students to send us innovative projects in order to upload them in our website. And many other activities, STEM summer camps organized now, and also we're planning a science festival, as we're doing with the Greek Astronomy Space Company. Apart from this, I want to say that I'm very active internationally. With this company, I launched many international STEM humanitarian projects based on Sustainable Development Goals of the UN Agenda 2030. The first is called Water, Life Giver and Threat. It's addressed to students. It was especially in Africa and Malawi. And it was the first time that STEM and water education are combined in order to help students. We're talking about students who were thirsty, students who didn't have any school supplies at all. So how to teach STEM to those students? It was a huge challenge for me. What I did was first to design activities where students could use at first natural resources for their activities. For instance, in order to create mind maps, they used branches of trees. They performed water experiments. They use sand in order to create the models of boat. Many artistic activities. Children were thrilled about. We talk about STEM unplugged without the use of technology, but it was fantastic. And the impact was great because thanks to these activities, we managed to obtain sanitation and filtering equipment for these students who didn't know how to filter and sanitize the water. They drink water with the mud. They didn't know how to filter it. And also 6 wells well drilled in areas of Malawi where children had to walk about 90 minutes to find clean water to drink. Apart from this, also, I launched an international project which is called Food for Thought. It's addressed to students in countries where high levels of childhood stunting and wasting persist, and also to students affected by micronutrient deficiencies. And this was implemented with great success in India, where students, when teachers visited slums, and they educated the families, they donated money, and they taught about healthy food combinations in case of food shortage. And also during the COVID pandemic, I also launched another STEM project was about the COVID crisis, and another one which had great success. It was about gender-based violence in Nigeria, because we know that gender-based violence in Nigeria has high rates. I was inspired by this. I had friends from Nigeria, women who were murdered because of this, of gender-based violence. So this inspired me to write this project. It combines gender-based violence awareness with STEM education. It was implemented in public schools there with great success. And now we're becoming green because thanks with the help also of the Greek Ministry of Education, I launched a program which is called SOS by Changing the Earth Climate. It is addressed to primary school students. Why primary school students? Because at this age, students should be inculcated these values of how to love, how to protect the environment, and how to get the service learning culture and volunteering culture, which unfortunately in Greece, this is not developed. So this STEM project combines environmental education, STEM education, and art. Didn't have the opportunity to learn about the climatic zones of the earth, the anthropogenic but natural factors also who define the climate of a place. So they get acquainted with various ways in which humans intentionally or unintentionally affect the Earth's environment. They realize their own involvement, their own responsibility towards climate problems. And in this way, they can cultivate the creativity to find solutions for a world without environmental problems. Through this project, the students have the opportunity to experiment, to create, to collaborate using exploratory discovery methods, collaborative approaches, leveraging digital tools, and even computational thinking. In this way, they can solve problems and express themselves also artistically. Some examples of the activities that have integrated is the students have to build a mini meteorological station. Of course, they can make measurements of temperature, of pressure, and humidity. So this kind of activities, we talk about field activities, outdoor activities in the nature. And finally, through this project, we try to highlight, to sensitize teachers and students about this phenomenon, to cultivate the concept of active citizens, especially among young girls. And in this way, students are encouraged to deal systematically with scientific environmental issues from an early age, therefore enhancing their social sensitivity, their ecological consciousness, and their environmental responsibility. So I want to say, before concluding, that I think that, as I said before, the COVID crisis gave us new opportunities. We always have to see the positive side when anything negative happens. And I think that women entrepreneurs have a huge potential that they need to explore and discover. Thank you very much for your attention and, of course, your invitation, the opportunity you gave me to participate. Unfortunately, I can't share the slides and give you the photos of our workshops. I have many photos to show you, but here it doesn't work.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Lena.
That will have been great. Thank you so much, Rania, for sharing such great experience in Malawi and your analysis on the impact of education and training programs in the increase of environment responsibility of citizens, especially young ones. Please, let's welcome now Elena Kripoulos from the European Regional Framework for Cooperation, which objective is to promote good practices and playing as a key role in the region of Greece, contributing in the implementation of EU regulations and directories. Elena joined us yesterday, and we have the pleasure to have her here today. So we hear you, and yeah, the mic is now on your side.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to share my screen in a proper way. I don't know, what do you see now? You don't see anything. Maybe you see my Facebook.
Now we see your screen.
Yeah, hang on a minute. We're going to fix everything. So now you see my presentation, I think.
Now we see it.
Okay, great. So actually what we couldn't manage it, we're going to try to do it today. The main purpose is to show how we can build an eco network, especially now because we're dealing with the green sustainability and the green growth. And what is the main purpose of it? Like Corina also said before, we faced many problems now with the climate change, and it's not only a challenge, it's a reality that we live. For example, now we have fast end of June, and we have the feeling that it is beginning of September or October in Greece. Everybody understands that we face health issues during the climate change, and of course, each one of us has to be educated in aim to have a more responsible, let's say, mindset, and to do things about the environment and for the people that loves and care, and especially also entrepreneurs. They have to become green, and us like consumers to have a safer end product without a CO2 carbon footprint. So we're going to speak about 3 programs that we have combined. The one is related with needs that are going to be educated in green soft skills to fostering the circular economy. The other one is related to SMEs that they want to change their entrepreneurial philosophy, and they want to have an opportunity to have a more holistic green approach. And of course, we're going to speak about Circlecon in Mediterranean area. Is also an educational platform where you can be educated about the circular values, and also bioeconomy and blue sea values as well. What I'm going to share here is actually what is the most important thing. Give me a second to put the right presentation. Sometimes, I don't know, you can see my presentation now, yes? Somebody?
Yeah, we see
Yes.
your presentation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the most important thing was to understand why we have these results, because the human connectivity is the most important factor. Give me a second, some technical issue again. Okay. So, okay. What we have thought as ERFC was to combine our forces and to bring our stakeholders in Greece in order to have the opportunity to be familiarized with the other projects and to take action, how they can have a synergy option together. So that was the idea, and its idea, especially in the media factor, has to present an ID. So our ID was to be connected, to be also in an official way of collaboration. We sign an MOU with the stakeholders. I would like to speak about information and information. Maybe you don't know the word ondophoria. This is actually the matter and the energy that is explained as action as a causal agent which forms organized structures. That means they have boundaries. Information is actually the information that through the material substances we get, and we realize that they have boundaries. So we just wanted to break the rules of the game, and we didn't put boundaries on that. On contrary, we just had the logic like a brain structure network, and this is exactly how an eco networks also is workable. So that means you have to combine and to synthesize the members or the areas of the brain, like the brain plasticity is going to bring you. And like this in real life, you can have the result of synapse. So that means that you get the reflection, and this is going like an order very fast to the brain. So what we have done, here you are going to see a video that is what happened in Egypt from the other stakeholders. Give me a sec. That was the one project.
We cannot hear the video, unfortunately.
So we saw actually how people, they can collaborate each other, although they belong to different religions, different cultures. They have to be respectful to each other. That was the Science Arabic Academy of Maritime Transportation. This is a simulator. So this is what you show about the Greenland project. It was a great project during 4 years that they have really established fantastic results with 210 national cross-border traineeships in SMEs. And the main purpose of this project was to educate people in order to have a workplace in a green, sustainable entrepreneur environment. So another project was the CB Carbon Free, where the Association of Exporter of Greece, they have organized a visit in green SMEs. We have 5 pioneer enterprises in Greece about that. One was Eurimac, one of the most let's say big industries in pasta. We have visited several entrepreneurs, green consultants, in order to see what is the impact with the middle-sized entrepreneurs with the quite big, let's say, essays. And we realized that one of the most difficult gap in the market is the terminology. So first of all, we have to make the information in a more simple way. So we wanted to be also very creative. That was another program, and the name is Circlecon, belongs to NACB Med programs in the Mediterranean area. And we wanted to include also the people of art in this. So we just have proposed people of art to give us voluntarily their piece of art. And what we have done, so they gave us some pictures. That means that the younger user, they can download this file, they can explore the local artist of the area, they can explore the first 100 words about circular economy. Why is very important for someone to consume less paper or less water, because in other countries they face this kind of difficulties. In other words, there are in these 7 countries also curators that they are running the whole process, and they're going to have living labs with professional artists and eminent and awarded artists, and also with children in aim to show them eco-material and of course, to teach them through this ongoing process why we have to respect the ecosystem that we belong. Like we said before, we went to food exhibitions to meet these 4 pioneers companies, and we have learned a lot by them. This is Mr. Sven van Asperen, one of the biggest industry in pasta. It's very short.
Unfortunately, the audio is not working again, Lena.
Okay, no problem. So we're moving forward. Because we're living in a social media brain, we have to figure out that we can transform this social media brain in eco-social media brain. That means we're going to take action with green influencers, with green activists, to popularize our projects and to make familiar to the society. So we had other projects as well where we combine the stakeholders together. And at once they have asked Hilton, what is the secret of your success? He said 3 things: location, location, location. So if somebody is going to ask you what is the most successful characteristic to link people, is to link, link, link. This is the basic characteristic if you want to have a successful network. And it doesn't matter if it's coming from your professional background, from your family background, or from your friendship background. This is Yorgo, he's a very good friend of mine. He's actually the inspirer and the constructor of the first 2-story 3D printed house in Europe. And what he has managed it, so now he's going to build the first Red Cross building in Germany. We have invited him during the program of Greenland in Greece, and he has demonstrated that to the Palestinian delegation who wanted to see eco-materials. So the new building of the Red Cross in Germany is going to be built from recyclable plastic bottles, marble dust, and of course also nano paste. But you're going to have also 3D printed batteries to have to save more the energy despite soft photovoltaic. So the first thing is to come closer together. Like this, we brought all of them together. We really won the experience to collaborate with international ambient, and when everything finished, we were more happy. We saw in a more wide range horizon the future, and we really work on beautiful synergies together. Something that I would like also to share, and to close like this in a little while, is excuse me, is also the BCI that I'm also presenting here is a media platform. It belongs to 126 media platforms worldwide and has many activities. That means is also a proposal to you to combine our forces and to collaborate, to popularize your projects in our platform. You're going to see. So the facilities are located in Canada, in Toronto. The origin of the owner is Greece, Xanthi. It is awarded from the Canadian government as well for excellent information of the Greek international community. We have also international audience, 50 nationalities in our radio station. It is TV station as well, and we can promote really your work in a very efficient way. We're using 5K and 5G. Now we're running a new technology called Go Smart as for the satellite programs. Give me a sec. Here are the stations that were collaborating in Greece and in other several countries as well. There is the BCI 24 News portal. This is an international. You can put also your articles here. So we're really protecting also the green philosophy. So you can see a lot of options here to collaborate with us. We have collaboration in Roku TV, Apple TV, Kodi, Samsung, Aristotle, University of Thessaloniki, many volunteering associations, and of course banks, water companies as well. This is our president, Mr. Anastasios Hadjitheophanous, and his vision was actually, let's say, a child dream who really became true, and we're very proud to have him. So that's all from me. Thank you very much. That was also from ERFC.
Thank you so much, Lena, for adding so much value to today's examples of success, presenting these projects and highlighting the partners, and especially for mentioning the necessity to address the gap of terminology.
Great.
Our next speaker today is Johanna Suo. She is Culture, External Relations, and Development Ambassador of the Diplomatic World Institute, and she's also founding partner of Artisans of Innovation. Hi, Johanna. Thank you so much for taking the time of being with us today. Just for a few minutes, we are excited to hear you.
Yes, hello. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's certainly a very spontaneous invitation and participation, which I'm very happy about, of course. So yes, so my name is Johanna Kuzmin Karavayev. Yeah, so that was my maiden name. I also partly use it, but only to clarify. And well, mostly, in my career, actually, mostly been active as a consultant and micro-entrepreneur, I would say, an expert in several different constellations and contexts. And micro-entrepreneurship also means, for example, in my context, sharing my company with my husband here in Belgium. He's doing actually something very different, but we have integrated different brands in the same entity, basically. So yesterday, when I spoke to Barbara Dietrich from Diplomatic World, she asked me to participate today. So that is, of course, a good idea, because I also came to talk about actually the collaboration with her. So Barbara Dietrich is the CEO of Diplomatic World. It's a magazine that, mostly is distributed in Brussels, covering diplomatic events and developments in Brussels, but beyond as well, in both political, culture development around the world also. And beyond the magazine, there's actually also something called Diplomatic World Institute. And I thought also, if you haven't done it, I will, you have sent some links. I'm also sending that link again. So this is a think tank, so aiming at social humanitarian development impact through collaboration. So a bit different from the actual magazine. So in that context, I have also worked and developed articles, for example, then on culture, international relations, and culture economy development, for example. And in the tone of the think tank, the Diplomatic World Institute, Barbara actually develops the idea of Education Institute, which I really think it's an excellent idea, on how this kind of entity could drive educational initiatives and dialogue, because of course education is not only for children, but it's really about lifelong learning and lifelong learning attitude, which has become so central for us to grow and to adapt in this constantly changing world. So as such, our collaboration, I think what I would bring, as an exciting example of actually, of how we as two ladies are trying to complement one another in different contexts. So then thought leadership is one kind of education that I think would be very interesting to run educational programs on in that kind of entity. So, for example, education for policymakers, for example, various different kind of intersectorial trainings, and even training and communication, etc., which is so important in intercultural relations. So I think that, so this was one of the points I wanted to make. So this is basically one idea of how we two as ladies have tried to come together and to complement one another. Then I just wanted to share some thoughts also on entrepreneurship. So I think that, as entrepreneurs, we actually have the same complexities and challenges as we do in international relations. How to collaborate and focus on this complementarity and not fall in the trap of competition. Competition can, of course, help us to elevate and maybe also reach excellence, but we really need to focus on finding the solutions on the complex issues. And this only, through networking and collaboration we can arrive to. So in terms of female entrepreneurship, I think today I have seen many, many big challenges to coordinate efficient women entrepreneurship and development initiatives if we want to have a real impact and entrepreneurial development also among women. And I think that such, directions and initiatives really have to be grounded in serious organization and human and financial capacity and vision by the organizers, and very inclusive, diverse, with an equal focus and respect on different fields of sectors, which can be very different and realities can look very differently. And I also think that we always have to have this focus on the professional development focus, There are far too many times, this whining and dining scene, and I don't think anyone has the time of interest for that. But it's also maybe a symptom of a network that is lacking of what I have said, that what I felt is really important to have as a support structure. So we have to be really clear about, how we can help each other. We have to open address books for one another, share experience in specific areas one another. But yes, for this, we really need, serious ways to have structure, funding, and coordination support. So I would also like to maybe say something about my particular sector of work, the sector, I would say, which is in which my work is based, and that's the culture and the creative sectors. And I say that it's based there because everything is about intersectoral engagement, intersectoral development, and intersectoral policies. And in this sense, I would also like to mention the involvement of artistic skills and competency, for example, in digital development. That is about cross-innovation and the ways that artistic and design skills contribute also to the development in endless fields and sectors. And a lot more awareness is still needed on this topic. And this is also why I'm very happy about the current assignment that I currently have at something that I also copy-paste in a link about here. This is with the Northern Dimension Partnership on Culture. It's an intergovernmental partnership. And we are also then launching this policy brief on the 12th of September, which is really an outcome of a study addressing, among other things, intersectoral readiness, but also departing from cross-innovation. And for example, one of them, again, is how art and design skills contribute in digital development. And then in terms of culture and creative sector, again, the sector in which my work is mainly based. In terms of entrepreneurship in this sector, there's a lot more serious address still needed in culture and creative sector education and training. I mean, not only to talk about the digital skills, which has really been an under-addressed area, and also, of course, about cross-innovation, which is also about business model innovation. Again, how art and design skills contribute in various contexts. So entrepreneurial skills and digital skills is a natural thing for business and management students, even though upskillings, probably always are needed. But in the culture and creative sectors, these are elements that are purely lacking, often still today. And as this session I know is aiming to point at best practice examples, I just wanted to give an inspiring example of a business school in Brussels, which is Brussels Business School. I copy-paste, no, sorry, it did copy-paste the wrong link. Where is it? It's called, well, the link, something happened with the link. It's called C-Ship, Brussels Business School. I just write it in here. Business School. Here. So this is an excellent example of how actually a business school addresses the culture creative sectors and having recognized their needs. Why wouldn't these sectors also need these skills? And they're also beyond culture entrepreneurship. They actually also have done their first courses or training program this year for artists. The program is called Artpreneurship. So to finish about this entrepreneurship in the culture and creative sectors, we can maybe ask, like, how can we expect turnovers from these sectors? Because this is obviously a question that many ask. So the answer is that we really have to guarantee all of the basic conditions that the sectors rely on: funding, investment, pre-incubators, incubators, seed funding, bank loan facilities, and really good intersectoral policies enabling all of this. And this is then, again, in most countries, not enough well developed, or not by far developed, or at some places not at all developed. So that is the only way we can get away from that old dusty way of seeing culture and the arts as cherries on the cake, and which is also often based in this bad comprehension of the sectors and their capabilities actually to generate. So even though, of course, like in Europe, there are many great EU projects and programs that are addressing this and are doing very beneficial ways to development. And of course, the national level action is, of course, even more crucial. But EU programs and policies obviously have a tendency to inspire national level action. So at the end, I just wanted to again copy paste in a link of something that I did not so long ago come across, which is called COST, European Cooperation in Science and Technology. It's an interdisciplinary research network that brings researchers and innovators together to investigate the topic of their choice for 4 years. And also then, of course, representatives of SMEs can be a part of that. So yeah, that was my last example, and thank you so much for having me today, and I hope that this gave something to your discussion.
We really appreciate your comments. Thank you for expanding on your collaboration with Diplomatic World Magazine and your education strategy as a key solution for the promotion of women policymakers, being as you could be able to share C-Ship Brussels Business School, a perfect example for that. We agree that collaboration, networking, engagement with different parties, and win-win thinking at the end of the day, through also cross-innovation, is key to achieve long-term results. Again, thank you for your time and for being a clear example of success, Johanna. And if anybody want to take the opportunity to ask any questions, it's the right moment.
Me. Okay. Hello. Congratulations. You inspired us. I think it's the most amazing moment, the aha moment, where all the ladies that are participating in this amazing connecting webinar have the opportunity to introduce themselves and maybe to make another Zoom and to see what are collaboration potential, to exchange things, experience, etc. I have already sent you an email, so you will receive it. I'm very happy today because I see people that they really have a vision, and let's do the thing, let's share the vision. That's all from me.
That sounds amazing. Yes.
We got great panelists today, I agree. So our next panelist is Catherine Nikou. She's going to speak about voluntarism and environmental ethics, and also expand a little bit about the Sianka Awards in Vatican International Relations. Thank you so much, Catherine, for being with us today. We hear you.
Thank you so much. Good morning from me too. First of all, thank you very, very much for the invitation and the opportunity given to me to present the institution in which I voluntarily participate, and also some of our actions which are related to the environment. My name is Katerina Nikou. I'm a philologist with a master's degree in bioethics from medical school. I'm coming from Greece, and I have been voluntarily participating for the last 13 years in the International Shaka Awards, whose awards ceremony is held in the Vatican. So let's begin from the, yes. Shaka Awards is one of the major institutions worldwide with a scientific, cultural, and social aspect. It is based on the principles of volunteerism, the defense of human values and ideals, as well as the promotion of love and friendship among people and nations. Regarding the Premio Internazionale Shaka Awards, this institution already contributes to distinguishing young scientists, artists, environments, who have excelled themselves in the field of expertise. At the same time, it honors and rewards the work and personality of prominent people from all over the world. It is a great a great prize. The Shaka Awards, Shaka prizes are particularly aware of the promotions of science, cultures, humanity. So a scientific part that they deal with is the environment, the respect for animals, issues of major importance nowadays, and especially when there is a climate change that differentiates everything on this planet, on planet Earth. So every year we select people from all over the world, exceptional cases of scientists who have dedicated their lives to the environment, climate change, and saving the planet, oceans, and living things. On this basis, we made with University of Athens, with the Ecumenical Patriarchate of Constantinople, the Laboratory of Applied Philosophy of the Department of Philosophy of the Greek University of Athens, and the Hellenic Society of Reproductive Medicine, we organized the international conference in Istanbul and Halki Island last September, middle of September of 2022. This conference was held with the participation of Greek and foreign scientists with the support of the Patriarchal Great School of the Nation, the Holy Theological School of Halki, and the Hellenic Echelon of the International Chair of Bioethics. So every year we give a very great importance to science and the environment. For these reasons, we have awarded very important people who dedicated their lives to environmental education. So I chose 3 people to present to you. They have been awarded in Vatican in 2015, 2019, and 2022. And also we presented them on the topic of the Eco U Life. So the theme was environment and family, pillars of social culture, the effects of climate change on the family. So first of all, let me speak to you, let me tell you about Maritza Morales Casanova. She's coming from Mexico. She has been awarded by Rolex, and she's the creator of the Siba Pentadra Park, through which young people and teachers take part in the fight against the environment problems of the planet. This was the first person. The second person is Pablo Garcia Borboroglu from Patagonia. Pablo Borboroglu is from Argentina. He's a National Geographic explorer who takes new approaches to save dwindling penguin population in Patagonia and all around the world. And the third person is 21 years old, Fionn Ferreira from Ireland. He's a scientist and innovator in the fight against plastic pollution, specifically microplastics in the seas. I would like to tell you something. The microplastics in the seas, which goes into the water, every month we swallow microplastics in the dimension of a credit card. When Fionn told us, we couldn't believe our ears. But this is true, and this is a very important thing to solve. So let's emphasize at this point that an important intention and starting point for all these people is education in the family, which aims at social culture, respect for the environment, goals that help us understand the value of the environment and all living beings. The undisturbed functioning of the environment is necessary not only for the survival of human beings, but also for the good quality of life of all living beings, animals, people. The human environment relationship is one of interaction and interdependence, as everything that happens in the environment, has an impact on all of our lives. It is an extremely huge matter, and we need to solve it ASAP. So let me tell you something also about Maritza Morales Fion Ferreira and Pablo Garcia Borboroglu. About Maritza Morales, she have witnessed the loss and the degradation of natural areas, and she committed her life to protecting her home. Her home is not also her house, her relatives. Home is nature, is planet Earth, inspiring others on the issue too. So when she was 10 years old, she founded the HUNAB, which is an environmental advocacy group that promotes peer-to-peer learning. Maritza today, she was born in, today she's at about 38, 40 years old. So I chose these three people because Fion is 20 years old, Maritza is 38, and Pablo is 52, because I wanted to show you that there is a huge, how can I say it? They're all the ages of people that are very interesting on the environment. Fion, on the other hand, is a student. Today he's 21 years old, as I told you. Growing up by the seashore in Ireland, he became passionate about solving the microplastic issue. So Fion built several inventions to test for this microplastic, and he decided to invent a method to remove microplastics from water himself. Pablo, on the other hand, has spent 32 years in the field of marine conservation and focuses on different ecological aspects of seabird conservation, with a special emphasis on penguins. Currently, he is leading a global conservation effort for penguins in several countries, including the creation of the IUCN Penguin Specialist Group, the improvement of colony management, and the creation of large protected areas. His work has helped protect 32 million acres of ocean and coastal habitat for penguins. So I believe that these three people, and there are so many others, can show us the importance of environment, the importance of our planet Earth. And I personally feel very lucky because I participate in this institution, which gave us the opportunity to see these people, to talk with them, to spread the message. And this was my intention today too. So thank you so much for your attention. And if you have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer to you.
Thank you so much, Catalina. I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, I would like to say it in Greek and you will translate it, okay? Because I would like to say it in our languages, language, Greek. Η εμπειρία σου όλα αυτά τα χρόνια, η ενασχόλησή σου λοιπόν με τα βραβεία Ασιάκα, με το δοσμό των βραβείων, τι έχει δαμάσει μέσα σου σαν άνθρωπο και τι σε έχει διδάξει?
Yes, Lena has asked me about my experience from these 13 years that I am international relations. I have this position in Shaka Awards, which is my experience and what it's taught me. Really, Lena, it's very hard to describe in words all these emotions. Due to the fact that my work is to find all these people for every year award. The awards ceremony takes place every October. So from June to July until next year, my job, my voluntary job, is to find these people, get in touch with them, and invite them for their awarding. This emotion is amazing. I talk with all these people via email, WhatsApp, Viber, phone for many months, 6, 7, 8 months. And when time comes, I see him or her, and he or she sees me, and we hug because we already have been friends. Except this, the valuable lesson is to see all these distinguished people, all these amazing people, how humble they are. I suppose that this is the greater lesson that I learn every year. We talk about people like Konstantinos Daskalakis on MIT University. We talk about Jake Andraka in USA, Jacob Barnett. We talk about very important people. But the importance is similar to humbleness. This is the lesson that I taught.
Thank you, Katarina. Ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Ευχαριστώ και εγώ. So I would like to thank you very, very much to send all of you a big hug from Greece. I hope you have a great summer, and I will be at your disposal for any queries you might have, or send you my presentation, or if somebody, if any one of you would like to know more things about Shaka Awards.
Evaristo.
Okay, so Katerina, I just have a final question. So people cannot apply for the awards. You just find the award so at the end.
Of course they can apply. Absolutely, they can apply. Okay. There is a jury. No, my mistake. I make, how can I say, an investigation, you know.
Okay.
And of course, there are many people that apply, and if they fulfill the
requirements. Okay.
Yes, the requirements. So of course they can apply. We had many people who applied for award, and they took it. Of course, absolutely, yes.
Thank you, everyone, for your great comments. I didn't want just to pass to the next panel, which is basically the conclusions in which Juan Revuelta, CEO of Innova, and Carla Garcia are going to just conclude this 5 days webinar with a remind that the catalog 100 Women Plus is now open. I'm going to just share the link for everybody to join us. In order to develop this catalog, we are collecting experiences and success histories of women entrepreneurs from both continents, Africa and Europe, with the objective of gaining better knowledge about women's entrepreneurs and showcases. So we encourage everybody present here today to join us in this insightful catalog. As I said, the link is on the chat, and Carla Garcia can also reply any questions you might have. I'm passing now the mic to Juan Revuelta, who is going to introduce Finnova and conclude this panel with the help of Carla Garcia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kalimera. And thank you very much for our colleagues from Greece that has been so inspiring. Okay, we will be more than happy to connect and to work in the future projects. For example, why not Women Startup Europe Awards in Greece? But okay, coming to the conclusions of this intensive 4 days of this Erasmus program, what I would like first is to thank all the team that has been working hard in doing possible this. Carla, Lola Bordas from Fundadoras, Esther, Eduardo, and all the team that has tried to organize the agenda and the schedule, all of us. It has been quite inspiring. We have to understand, Katerina, allow me to share with you the opportunities for some of the projects you have shown us. They could become a real project, a real EU funding project in the next call. For example, microplastic issue in the seas and oceans. Why not, if we create an innovative with that startup, with that people, we could submit a live project in the subprime circular economy, and we have entities, islands in Spain that could be interested, and we could do with Greece. Okay, I mean, what we try, what I would like to offer all of you is first, we believe and we trust from Finnova in sustainability, in fighting against climate change, in all the water issues, etc. We believe, of course, in how to empower women at work and also in the field of entrepreneurship. That is the field where we feel right. Why? Because we have the Startup Europe Accelerator in Brussels. And Katerina, perhaps part of that recognized companies or that awarded startups, they could be open to have a training period paid from the European Commission in Brussels, in our Startup Europe Accelerator, to try to transform their idea in a real project submit to the European Union. Live, in other calls, that could be Horizon or Interreg or whatever, what we try to do.
Absolutely, we have so many things in common, and we could expand, all these ideas and have a collaboration. Absolutely. Yeah. Carla has my email, my telephone. We could.
Through Carla, we are going to work together because we have a lot of things in common. For example, what about women and opportunities from firefighting? It's a big drama in another Hellenic word, drama. Yeah?
Drama, yes.
Drama. 3,000 words in the international language comes from Greece. Okay, a big drama is firefighting. Remember all these casualties you have in Greece? And okay, there is a slot to work in the field of forestal bioeconomy, prevention of firefighting and fighting against fire, but also in the field of reforest. And that's really good for the climate change, but it's also an opportunity for women's or men's or whatever to create jobs and work. In that sense, We have now we are in Interreg projects, 30 million euros in the Interreg cooperation, Portugal, Spain. But we could work together in an Interreg, why not Med, Mediterranean, Greece, with Spain, but also in the next call, Med, that is the cooperation in the Mediterranean, all about forest, deforestation, climate change, etc. From the forest, we can obtain energy. We can obtain cellulosa for textile waste. I think in these days, we have been inspired from a lot of the speakers. We are working a lot in the field of circular economy and social innovation into fashion. Crazy fast fashion activities of the humans that is crazy, all the ways we generate. And we have nice projects that are working in Spain, but it could be implemented in Greece or in other countries where women that comes from this terrible situation as forced prostitution, okay, one way of including them, training them in how to reduce the textile from Horeca hotels in doing new clothes, for example. There are a lot of ideas that we could be working, especially this next generation times. We are talking of the biggest economic recovery plan in the history of humans.
It is, yes.
14 times more what was the so-called Marshall's Plan after the Second World War. Anyway, there is a lot of opportunities. What we pretend is just first, thanks all the speakers, all the people that has been looking to this intensive webinars. They will be available, of course, for the future for anyone that wants to be connected. There is a lot of opportunities. I want to recognize the effort of our partners. Cabildo de Fuerteventura is a wonderful city that has a lot of challenges also that Caterina, you have explained. Microplastic in oceans, water reuse. Okay, we can work together in life projects, under the life projects, under other programs in Interreg. Why not? Second, for the women, there are a lot of opportunities I assume someone has explained what Erasmus entrepreneurship is. It's women that has been working as independent less than 3 years. Even if you are Erasmus young entrepreneur means people under 70 years. Wow, young entrepreneur, young people entrepreneurs that has been entrepreneur or independent less than 3. That allow these people to have a professional experience with other entrepreneurs, mobility, Spain, Brussels, etc. Why not? For the young people, I think also in Greece, Italy, Portugal, we have the program Youth Guarantee that try to guarantee for the young people to have an experience up to 6 months and training period paid in other countries. From here, more than happy to host in our offices with Carla Garcia in Tenerife, in Valencia, or in Spain, or in Brussels, where we have our headquarters. More than happy. Anyway.
It would be great, and also it engage all the Mediterranean countries to an aim.
We believe
common aim.
Not in development, in capacity building of young people. Again, listening in Spain is a drama. Officially, we have almost 1 million, we call ninis, ni estudian ni trabajan, people that don't study, don't work. You miss a lot. from 18 years up to 30 years. Oh, okay. It can be an experience abroad, and we have in Brussels more than 200 entities that work with us in that field. Then, Catherine, we will be more than happy to host someone from Greece with that program, working with us and with you, just learning by doing European Union projects. And for all our beneficiaries, we offer an e-learning training course that try to help in understanding how to write EU funding proposals. When we see this common challenge as digital or green transition, it means new jobs, and it means possibility of submitting proposals that could apply for 1 million euros in the field of life, in the field of renewable energy up to 5 million euros again.
Yes, of course. We can arrange that in collaboration with Lena, and I thank Lena very much for this, for today.
With Lena and Catherine, why not to have...
And also, sorry, the General Secretary of Shaka Awards, Mrs. Vicky Afadaki. She's the head.
And actually, it's one magnificent lady, because I want to say that Katarina, she really hugged us from the first moment, and she's a person that really opens the doors. Although she is so successful, she wants always to be treated to us like family members. This is the most important thing really I have learned from Mrs. Bafataki.
Yes.
Okay, Lena, then let's try to identify Greek women, Greek girl from under 30 years old that could benefit from youth guarantee in Greece, coming to Brussels with a concrete working plan based in the priorities you decide. We know and we have a lot of experience in the field of circular economy and textile, what is quite interesting, and tourism, the field for women, or firefighting, forest management, or what about water, another important issue in Greece, water recycling, water reusing, water efficiency in building, what to do with the grey water, etc. Water, another important issue. And of course, all what is linked to cultural tourism. That Greece has tremendous richness in cultural heritage of our civilization.
Un minuto, por favor. Rania, do you like maybe to introduce yourself to say that you are also culture ambassador in the modern Pythian Games? And we're having a great network of 90 countries so far. The first is established in Greece, the Ecumenical Delphic Union, where I also am a culture ambassador. And Rania is also the person in charge for education there. So we're making a lot of culture, STEM workshops, living labs. And I think it's a great opportunity, first of all, to introduce ourselves like individuals, and then to see how we can combine our forces with our organizations. And why not to have also the opportunity of a common proposal, because at the moment the green funding is a huge opportunity for many organizations around the globe.
That's quite interesting. And okay, we could be talking and talking of potential possibilities, but Esther and Carla, they are starting to become nervous because I'm talking too much and spending too.
That's all. We are glad to see that this platform is serving to connect people, which is the main purpose.
Thank you so much, Juan. Thank you. Thank you.
And you know, there are a lot of synergies because we have a program now approved under the Creative Europe, Creative Europe, that is into tourism and culture. And Greece is okay. It's a privilege to work with you. We have to be in contact in parallel in the next week, if you have time, to try to start thinking in submitting an estimate project. about culture. Futures. We have really passion in tourism, innovation in tourism, culture, circular economy, firefighting or what is forest, climate change, waste management, especially for Iceland. Carla is living in a beautiful, very beautiful island called Tenerife in Canary Islands. I think we can identify common challenge to afford in the field of circular economy, energy efficiency, water, but with that gender perspective of promoting women at work, STEM, of course, and of course in the field of. And for that, we have our colleague that is not in the closing session, Lola Bordas, who represents Fundadoras and Cimanas, or what is Girls for Tech, Lena and Caterina. That's a beautiful program. I don't know if you know what's that. Girls for Tech is a program that links technological challenge in the territory at the schools for children, girls working with boys from 8 years up to 18 years in the school, but where girls has to become the speaker of the group, promoting technological solutions to try to fight, because we believe women has to understand they can study STEM careers. Why? It's amazing what they are able to do together in the field of firefighting or in the field, for example, in how to reduce solid waste from Oreca sector in the depuration water treatment plant to produce biogas to reduce the public bill of energy. It's just a school from Gandia, touristicity we have in Madrid. Anyway, I want to offer the floor because Carla, I don't know, sorry, because we have take a lot of time. I'm sorry. Also about women for tech is same thing, but with women. And I think we can stay working. And thanks this wonderful program Erasmus, we are here connected. And we are trying with this ODS challenge as better jobs, women, circular economy, and digital. In digitalization, we can share with you a project Interreciba, 5 million euros in the field of digitalization in agriculture sector. Why not to rethink in doing an Interreg or a NESMET with Greece, and digitalization allows also women from the primary sector to work in it. That's it.
Thank you so much, Juanma.
Thank you very much, Evaristo.
Evaristo, Juanma. Actually, as you know, one of the purpose of this training action of this event, as well as the 100 Women Plus project, is to connect people, establish new networks and forms of cooperation. And I think without any doubt, we have more than achieved this goal. Actually, as a result of this event, we have created a group called 100 Green Women, and I think it's the seed for future projects. I'm really excited about this. I'm also very happy to have you all for your cooperation. We have more than 20 panelists within these 5 days, so I'm really happy. We have connected, many kind of women, but also men pushing for women entrepreneurship and for the equality. We have had women in science, women in business, women in teaching, and also in civil and civil society. So I think it's a good representation of what we do and how we do, and I think it's for me really happy, as I said before, to have all you for start new projects for the future and to have new colleagues and new people who need to network and find solutions in the future, and all of us pushing together. As you know, we can drive positive change and empower women working like that, for sure. So I think that's all. Thank you very much to all
May
the
I say something, class?
Yeah, sure.
Congratulations to Esther Mbomio for her great moderation.
Yes,
Thank you so much, Lena. I just really appreciate it.
So
Thank you for all. It was great. Thank you.
We'll keep in touch and we will do definitely something together.
Absolutely. Of course.
So just a final reminder, all these videos are being recorded and they're going to be uploaded into our media, so you can come back to the panelists and to the sessions, and for sure we're having more after summer, even during summer, and as Mama said before, we start a new cooperation and we have the opportunity to enlarge this network. So thank you so much.
If I may, Garcia, Carla, we have 4 minutes left. If someone has a question or someone wants, we have 4 minutes. 4 minutes.
Yes, sir.
It's alive. Yeah? Esther?
Yeah, thank you so much to Julia and Valentina, which have been helping us with all the webinar planification too. Has been a pleasure to moderate, and yeah, I hope these type of platforms help us just to connect women doing great and promoting great projects aligned with the European Union plans, and it has been a pleasure, Juanma. I'm not sure if you wanted to drop any questions.
Sergiasta, perhaps you want to say something, Sergiasta?
I just want to say thank you for connecting to this wonderful network, and I see so many. I would love to collaborate with so many of you, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Also, we have through the chat some comments, like we have one candidate to go to the Brussels to the capacity building, so we are starting a new opportunity with the mobility and so on. So maybe we can also develop further this in the future.
Yes, be active. Women, be active. Because there is a lot of opportunities. Even, as you know, European Commission has calls for universities just for women, and also for enterprises that are owned by women. Then you have to be active. You have to be active, studying, learning, traveling. And there are some opportunities, not only in Finland, of course, in the European Commission, in other places.
What about everybody to to switch on the camera to have a common photo?
Of course. Very good idea. Let's open, all of you, the cameras.
Can I have my cat to the photo too?
Yes, I would like to have also my dog.
Julia, you open the camera, please. And Rani and Federica.
Julia, open your Federica. Rania is aquí, next the camera. Doesn't matter. I'm going to make photos of after that.
Federica Chipa. Okay. Okay, and I see there Valentina also. Pepe.
Beautiful. So nice.
Nice. I love you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Gracias.
Gracias.
First time.
Ideas. There are ideas that change the way we work.
In other centuries, they would have called it magic.
Ideas that got us connected. Hold the line a minute. That made us communicate better with each other.
Hello?
Ideas that got smarter and smarter and smarter. There are the ones that caused revolutions.
Goodbye, David.
And others that seem like a thing of the past now. There are the ones that are obsolete and ideas that promised us freedom, but in the end delivered us nothing but stress, that we tried to compensate with funny ideas. We thought of something different. A simple idea that turns idle workspace into places where you connect with companies, where you share knowledge with other creative minds or digital nomads. Where you are is where you work. You spend fewer hours on the road and you gain precious time for a better work-life balance. It's called Work Hero. Is it a game changer?
I beg your pardon?
We like to think so, but we'll let you be the judge of that. Check out Work Hero on workhero.com. Work Hero, connecting space and knowledge.